Is this the size of God's love to you? We're talking about that on At Who I Would Become. Stay tuned. Recently, I was talking to an atheist, and he asked me an amazing question. He said, Andrew, I know you have the Holy Spirit within you. So as a result of that, what is He showing you? And I was blown away by the question, but I took a second and I said, you know what? God is showing me right now that I need to have love. And it's not just a regular love, it's the divine love. In fact, I spoke on that in some videos before, that God is stirring in my heart about love, but the divine love that He wants me to show the world. Imagine this. Imagine there's thousands and thousands of acres that are on fire, and the firemen are out there trying their best to put it out. Okay? And I go to my house and I take this cup. And I fill it up completely. And I run back to the fire and I say, guys, I've got the answer here, right here. I got the answer. Let's get rid of this fire. Besides being probably declared mentally ill in that moment, they would all look at me and they'd probably say, what? That's not enough. And that's the response, I think, when we point to the world and we say, you know what, God's love is enough. Every one of them looks at us and said, that's not enough. And why do they say that? Watch this. A small view of God's love comes from a small display of God's love by the church. I'm going to repeat that. A small view of God's love in the world comes from a small display of God's love by the church. It's our fault. You see, when we go out in our world and we show people this, we show that this is God's love, when you and I both know for a fact that God's love is huge. I mean, just look at some qualities that He has. Patient, kind, forgiving, sacrificial. I mean, it's huge, the amount of love that He has and what He pours out on us. Even Romans 5 says that while we were still sinners, while we were still ungodly, He died for each and every one of us. His love is huge. And the problem with the church now, and the problem with myself, is our display of love is the size of this cup, and the world is resounding, telling us it's not enough. And we as a church have to do a better job. We have to put on the fullness of Christ and go into a world and show people the divine love. The love that He gave us, that while we were still sinners. And what is the root of that love? It's compassion. It's not action-based where I have to force myself to love somebody. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it today. I'm going to love that person. I'm going to do it. That's not what it is. In fact, 1 Corinthians warns us against that. It talks about if I speak with tongues of men but have not love, I'm just a noisy gong. He says if I have prophetic powers and I have faith to move mountains, but I don't have love, I'm nothing. He talks about if I give my body over to be a martyr and to be burned, but I have not love, I gain nothing. He's specifically telling it's not action-based, it's heart-based. It comes from compassion, and Jesus had compassion on us, and He has it for the world, and He is demanding that and commanding the church to go out. Two things. Jim Elliot, a group of guys, they went down to Ecuador back in the 50s, and they specifically went there to witness to a tribe and to lead them to the Lord. They died martyr's death. Another couple, they went overseas to witness to and to live amongst another religion. They were on the streets one day and the husband was gunned down. What does the lady say? She said, we died before we came here. You see what that is that's Jesus' sacrificial love living within her, pouring out compassion on the world around her. It's an amazing thing. We died before we came here. That's truly putting others first. We know for a fact the love of God can put out any fire in this world. It can put out any anger. It can put out any unrest. It can put out any division. We know this. It just must be displayed in the church. We need to rise up and show it to the world around us. The world is crying out right as we speak for something. Church, let's rise up. I am calling on myself to do the same thing. Let's rise up and let's show true sacrificial love, true compassion to the world around us, to a lost and a broken world that needs Jesus in a mighty way. at Who I Would Become is simply here to edify, to equip the church. It's not our kingdom, it's for His kingdom. Would you help us get the word out? Would you like, share, and follow us? Would you also subscribe? We're on YouTube now as well, Facebook and Instagram. We'll talk to you next time.